Welcome back to Internet. I am your host, Video Games. We're going to be playing a very special game this time. I noticed what everybody else on YouTube is doing is they're playing brand new games. Games you haven't seen before. And I thought I'll set myself apart by playing video games everybody has already seen. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody. I'll be the first. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think they've had that idea to play old games yet. Let's see. Setting my view. Why is my view fucked up? This is some janky Okay, there we go. This is not the best programmed game I have played on the Oculus Rift. I don't want to talk shit. I think they did a really good job, especially considering this was like a pioneer. One of the first games for the Rift that had any replay value and wasn't just some kind of demo. Let's do the tutorial. That's what today's mobile trendy youth wants to see. I'm fucking hip. What are you talking about? Computer voices. Don't you fucking tell me what to do. This is Todd again, isn't it? Don't you lecture me. You know who you're fucking talking to right now? Do you even know that I'm the Space Master? That's right. I don't know if you can hear me because I think the sound is still fucked. I tried switching to Rift Audio in Windows and it still is fucked up. So you're just going to have to listen to the sonorous and soothing sound of my voice. Get your dicks out if you want. This is that kind of YouTube channel. Look at this fucking scenery. Look at this. I was so excited and felt so vindicated when I bought this at first. Because it's like a fully realized hard sci-fi lunar base environment. How often do you see that in games? When was even the last time? You got a lunar base in the new Wolfenstein? Briefly. I think there was one in Duke Nukem Forever. Who fucking cares, though? But the illusion falls apart pretty quickly because they don't go as far as they could have with the setting. You'll see what I mean pretty soon. This is 90% of what you do in this game. You pick up cubes, and you move these cubes to places where cubes are stored. Space cubes. That's what this game originally was going to consist of. Then Oculus was like, you can't just make a game entirely about moving cubes around. You have to add some fucking combat in there too. If you don't have any combat in the game, people aren't going to want it. You can't stretch out moving cubes around to an entire game, and they're like, watch us. But they did eventually cave, and so there is some amount of light combat in this game. Thank goodness too, because it would have been unbearably dull otherwise. There's also racing, surprisingly. I don't know if I call it racing. You're not racing with another person. You're racing against like the clock. And this is Space Customs, where they check your packages to make sure you don't have any space weed. You got nothing on me. You got nothing on me, pig. Over here. And then I deliver it. I don't know why they need rocket-powered vehicles to deliver packages a couple 100 feet. Maybe that's just one of the mysteries of space. Sup, motherfucker! That's Frank. We know each other. I wish you could see, hear the voice actor. I didn't check, but I'm 90% sure this is the same guy that was in Esper 1 and 2. I really got to look into fixing the audio properly. Sup, additional motherfuckers! Number 1, 2, and 3. Which is, I assume, what their names are. He sounds really fucking similar. He has the same kind of sort of snappy 1920s inflection to his voice. If you have played Esper 1 or 2, like the main guy who talks to you. If that's true, if that's the same guy, it is a small world. Whoa! Whoa! Hang on to your wrinkly little McGillicuddies. And your pingus. This is how we fucking roll on the moon, I guess. Watch me get 1 star for this. For this fucking stellar run. Watch me get 1 star. Prepare for shrill autistic screeching that's gonna fucking burst your eardrums. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay, now I actually deserve 1 star. And it's not this way either. That's one of the problems. They don't really mark the path except with these little hologram projector thingies. So it's really fucking easy to get turned around at certain points unless you've memorized the entire track. You can tell I know I'm gonna bomb it when I start to make excuses. The excuses begin. 1 star. I foretold it. Hashtag foretold. No country foretold men. Knights of the foretold republic. Cashforetold.com. I foretold all of it. I'm a fucking modern day prophet. Nostradamus. Nostradamus. Yes, guns! Fuck it up! Let's fuck it up! Gonna fuel up a little bit. They can overheat. So I gotta not go crazy. Which is an interesting gameplay touch. I wish they had added missiles. That would have been a adequate additional layer of gameplay complexity. I didn't even listen to what I'm supposed to be doing. I assume I have to fuck this guy up. The narrator's saying all these like clever, witty things to me that I wish you could appreciate. I don't know. Probably it's some really stupid, simple thing that I'm fucking up. It usually is. This setting, though, dude, the only complaints I have are that there are these biodomes you're going to see in a little bit where they didn't even bother to model an interior. They just put more moon stuff on the inside, at which point, why bother building a dome? And they reuse a lot of these assets on Mars. Mars was really exciting to me. I was really excited to go there, only to find out that it is a reskinned moon. Exact same gravity, exact same handling, despite supposedly there being an atmosphere. And on top of that, they reuse a lot of the habitat. There is some new stuff. There are some new habitat assets and things like that, but not a lot. A lot of it is reused, which was just disappointing. It was supposed to be this huge transition and this huge accomplishment to make it to Mars, only for it to be mostly recycled assets. I will forever be angry because of that. The sense of scale and of speed, you really feel like you're flying, and it's for a gamepad title, this was a pretty good way to go. I don't think you could enhance this at all with touch controls. It's kind of a shame. I don't think there's going to be more games in this series or in this genre on any VR headset now that touch is out, now that touch controls are standardized. You can only really do this on a gamepad. And you can see him playing with this fucking space orb down there. some kind of gross alien sex toy nestled tightly betwixt his knees. That's apparently how you control this vehicle. I like that. It's kind of cool. That's better than just having his hand be on like a joystick or something. Oh, more space customs. You fucking fascists. Rifling through my stuff. This is all black dildos, but that's completely legal. I don't want to hear any commentary on that. Okay. Not like Chris Hansen. Apparently it's a fucking crime to carry around a duffel bag full of black dildos. I thought this was America. Wait. Never mind. It doesn't matter that it's the moon. Every planetoid and moon in the universe belongs to America. I don't know about that, though. Probably we're not going to be the ones who build a base on the moon first. I've heard a lot of grumblings about how China and Russia and the general ESA want to collaborate on a moon base, and they have the resources to do it together. Whereas we're sort of laser focused on Mars, and it's going to take everything we have in our budget to build a habitat on Mars, which you need to. If you're going to go to Mars at all, you have to stay there until the next launch window comes around. So we can't just do a quick. We shouldn't, but we anyway. But we can't do a quick boots and flag mission because we have to be able to stay there. We have to have humans stay there for like a year. I'm glad that was the right guy. Otherwise, it would have been a serious crime. That's a relief. I was having serious fucking issues with this game not too long ago. I was having texture flickering issues. I was having recentering issues, which apparently were never fixed. And I don't want to talk shit. I still think you should buy this game. I know it doesn't sound like it, but there's not really anything else like it. There is a more strict, hard sci-fi kind of sim, lunar flight sim, but it doesn't have as much to do, nearly. Its only claim to fame is being more realistic in terms of the physics and that shit. There's not a lot I can see that's actually shaped like a pressure vessel, but then it looks like it's gray, like it's made out of lunar concrete, which it would be. There's no way we're going to send this much living space up to the moon. One cylindrical module at a time. We have to actually manufacture shit on the moon, which means we have to make it out of lunar concrete. You little fuckers. Stay cozy. Having something near to your eye really helps with depth perception. Blah, 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 something, something. Yeah. Having this cockpit around you, like things that are far enough away don't really have any 3D depth to them like in real life. So having the cockpit to contrast against that really helps you feel grounded in the environment. Oh, yes. Should we go back to the moon? Because I've been reading about that, and apparently uh, there's not enough gravity for healthy fetal gestation. Like they raised some rats or white mice, I think, on the ISS inside of centrifuges to simulate different gravity levels. And the ones that were raised in simulated lunar gravity, like the fertilized egg did not attach to the side of the womb. Maybe there's an easy fix to that, but I don't think so. There were also reports of birth defects, if I recall. Like the baby mice did not have the capability to balance properly. The inner ear did not form right. So there's good reason to believe that we cannot make a permanent multi-generational home out of the moon for humankind, because our bodies need a certain amount of gravity to produce healthy children. Mars is believed to have enough gravity. I think the experiment vindicated that. It's not just a issue of fucking your bones not being strong enough if they form in microgravity like in the expanse. It's an issue of not forming correctly in the womb, or not even being able to have the egg attached correctly to the side of the womb. And I've heard people say, well, we'll just have pregnant women hang out for 9 months inside of giant spitting centrifuges. Does that really sound practical to you? It doesn't sound practical. Here's one of the fucking biodomes, so-called biodomes. They didn't bother to create a lush tropical paradise inside. There's not even an airlock. There's just more habitats. Why would you build habitats that are themselves adequate shelters against vacuum and radiation inside of a dome, the ostensible purpose of which is to hold in one Earth normal atmosphere and keep out radiation? That enrages my autism. I have to tell you something fierce. 1 star for that? Fuck off. Fuck your own asshole. Hadron. Apparently we're doing physics experiments on the moon. I still love the experience of flying over the moon. I come back to play this game over and over just to do this. I don't even care what mission I'm doing. Some Frenchman is now apparently fucking holding onto my landing gear. I didn't see anybody approach. That's why you have to do pre-flight checklists to make sure there's no fucking Frenchman hanging on to any part of your aircraft or spacecraft. That is a constant problem faced by the aviation industry, is that Frenchmen will sometimes cling to the outside of the hull, trying to get free passage. You have to lure them away with a baguette. I don't care, man. Baguettes are fucking good. Baguettes, that's food. That's food. You heat up a big chunk of a baguette to where it's nice and steamy. That's good food. That's food. Come on. You don't like bread? You don't like carbs? I don't want to know you. I really have to keep an eye on my fuel level. For some reason, your fuel becomes infinite if you are carrying a package. I think just because the game would be unplayable otherwise. There are probably better solutions to that, like just giving you extended fuel while carrying a package of some sort. I don't think you're right. I think, in fact, if I go over here, I'm going to find... I have to get fuel. I have to. This feels so much like actual lunar flight. As if I know what that feels like. There's where they store the moon's primary export, gorilla cum. A lot of people don't know that. You wouldn't expect that to be the primary export of the moon. Animal rights prevent it on Earth. You can't farm gorilla semen on Earth. Has to be done in microgravity because, it shoots further. They have a special vacuum collector for it. That's the kind of educational information you can only get on my channel. This is still fun to play. And it's really a shame that the gamepad is so fucking dead. Think about all the games that can only be played adequately on a gamepad. Like, imagine ukulele. There is a VR version of ukulele now that's reportedly amazing. Not official, it's a mod. But imagine trying to play that on anything but a gamepad. I wouldn't want to play that. Any third-person game is gonna fucking suck. I guess you can use the fucking touch controllers as a gamepad, but I guess I guess. I don't really want to. I still like the feel of the gamepad, if you know what I mean. Feels good in the hand, feels good to play. I'm used to it. Maybe I'm just an old man, I don't know. Oh, fuck off. Oh, shit! Need to get this to repair. There we go. Where'd I drop my fucking... Where'd I drop it? Here it is. Space nachos. Hang on a little while longer. I'm bringing the space nachos. For a flavor emergency. I didn't say it was good combat. Good lighting, though. Good textures. Everything looks pretty good. They just didn't... Like, if I could actually go inside an airlock at the biodome and have the door shut behind me and have the inner door open with, like, some compressed air effects, and then it was actually natural environment inside, and really huge biodomes with entire missions just inside of them, imagine that. Imagine... Like, why even add domes if you're not going to go that far with it? I'm just saying. I'm a just a saying. Oh, you know what I noticed? I should get video of this. I don't know if I want to bother, but you can make the Italian hand gesture in Oculus Home using the pinching gesture on Oculus Touch. You can do that hand thing that is apparently a meme right now, or was like a week ago, which is current to me. I'm an old man. Bapida beepa, beepida bapida bapa, bapida beepida bapa. You can do it. Go to Oculus Home and try it out. That's the future right there, is fucking virtual Italians. So realistic. That's everything, isn't it? Pretty good music too. I wish you could hear it. Biodome. This is what I'm talking about. You already saw it, but if I could go inside of an actual biodome and fly around trees and grass and shit like that, and with birds, maybe for the sequel. I don't know. Maybe they're like building the biodomes now, but they're not complete. And in the sequel, if there ever is one, there will be complete gigantic fucking domes spanning like miles that I can fly around inside of. And there should be like different handling because there's air. Because there's air inside of those domes. You still need to fix the handling on Mars, though. I will be forever salty about that. I'll be saltier than an entire fucking salt mine. Saltier than the very gorilla semen which the moon exports in such prodigious quantities. You don't have to believe me, man. Go fucking ask Bill Nye. They farm gorilla cum on the moon. What is this dumb shit? There's actually some pretty good combat later in this game. It never gets any more complex than this. So I'm not promising you like really sophisticated combat, but it gets really tough. It gets legitimately challenging. That's about as much praise as you'll hear me give it. And I can't go through those openings because there's actually glass there. I'll show you in a second. There's glass, so this is an enclosed dome, but there's no airlock. So it's just a vacuum in here. Like, watch this. Bonk. Why build these? What is the purpose of domes with just vacuum and lunar regolith inside? I don't understand. Why build these inside of a dome? My cup of anger runneth over. This is still fucking fun to play, though. The sensation of speed and actually flying around in 3 dimensions is fantastic. It reminds me of those jetpack levels of Pilot Wings for N64, so if you liked those at all, you would probably really like the game feel of this. Just being able to effortlessly zip around in full 3 dimensions and actually feeling like you're flying in total freedom. All right, that's it for this set of levels. Apparently, I'm going to cut it short there. And relax with this chocolate gentleman over here. This fine affirmative actionaut. I can't tell from this angle. He might just be a silhouette because of the light coming in. I'm pretty pleased. All in all, this is a little bit rough still, which is kind of shocking considering how long it's been out. But they've actually done a lot to improve it. I've seen some new stuff. They've fleshed out a lot of the mission structure, and I've seen some new missions that I didn't know about before. So they're still adding stuff to it. It's still, I think, technically early access somehow. Would I recommend it? If you liked the jetpack levels of Pilot Wings, it feels a lot like that, and the fundamental gameplay feels really good. And thanks to Oculus pestering them to add more shit into it, it has just enough gameplay variety that it doesn't really get boring. You can always go back and do the races, or you can go replay the combat levels. It has a lot of replayability, and it was pretty, impressive that it had all that, given how early in the early days of VR this came out. I think that's all for this time. Hit like and subscribe. I will definitely do more videos in the series. I'll get back to Edge of Nowhere. It's just it disappeared from my library for some stupid fucking reason. Always keep me in your heart.